Eddie Murphy was once Hollywood royalty comedy genius box office king, a man with fame, fortune, and a growing empire of children. But behind the scenes, his role as a father has come under fire, especially when it comes to one child. He spent years denying that child is Angel born from his short-lived relationship with Spice Girl Mel B.
Old school, we dated for a while, and by the way, I've never actually had a one-night stand. I haven't. Believe that or not, I have
There
not.
we go.
And your dad, he asked your dad for your hand in marriage?
Yeah, it was
And what started as a whirlwind romance has now turned into one of the most painful and talked about family fractures in Hollywood. Back in 2006, Eddie Murphy and Mel B were more than just a secret fling. According to Mel, their connection was instant electric. Even they met fell hard, and within weeks, they were practically living together. They even got matching tattoos in a Hollywood parlor and introduced each other to their families. Eddie reportedly went as far as asking Mel's father for her hand in marriage to Mel. This wasn't a passing affair. It was the real thing, but to Eddie, that narrative would later vanish into silence and denial. When Mel discovered she was pregnant, she thought it was the next chapter in their love story. Eddie already had 7 kids by that time, and Mel claims he was the one who actually pushed her to have a child with him. She says they laughed and cried when they found out. But soon after Eddie's behavior shifted, he became distant, controlling, obsessed with security. Mel said she felt like a prisoner in her own home, trapped in a gilded cage, while Eddie held the keys. Then came the most brutal blow. Eddie publicly denied being the father during an interview when asked if he was excited about the baby. He flatly said, "I don't know whose child that is until it comes out and has a blood test." Mel was devastated. Fans were shocked. This wasn't just a betrayal. It was a calculated distancing that left Mel to raise their daughter alone. 4 months later on, Eddie Murphy's birthday, Angel Iris, Murphy Brown was born. Mel filed a paternity suit. The DNA test confirmed what Mel already knew. Eddie was Angel's father, and legally, he was ordered to pay child support and cover pregnancy expenses. But emotionally, Eddie wanted nothing to do with the child. For years, Eddie stayed away. According to reports, things got so bad between him and Mel that Eddie's ex-wife Nicole Murphy had to step in and mediate. But even after the legal battles ended, the silence remained. Angel grew up believing that Mel's then-husband, Stephen Belafonte, was her real dad. Eddie didn't reach out, didn't connect, didn't try. It wasn't until Angel became a teenager that the two began trying to build a relationship, but by then, the damage had been done. Angel had spent her entire childhood without her biological father, and now she was entering another deeply personal journey, transitioning from female to male, and Eddie's response alleged. Eddie's response allegedly made things even worse. Sources close to the family say it took him a long time to come to terms with Angel's transition, and during that time, the emotional distance between them only grew wider. Angel, who had already gone through years of feeling unwanted, now had to deal with a father who reportedly struggled to accept their identity. And for many fans, this felt like a new low in an already complicated story. People started pointing out what they saw as pure hypocrisy. Back in 1997, Eddie Murphy made headlines when he was pulled over in Los Angeles with a transgender worker in his car. Eddie claimed he was just giving her a ride, but the media was relentless. The scandal followed him for years, and now that his own child had come out as transgender, fans couldn't ignore the irony. How could he claim to support people publicly, but allegedly fail to support his own child? Online forums exploded with comments, some calling Eddie out directly for being an absent and unsupportive father. Others said his silence spoke volumes, even years later. Many still remember how long it took for him to even acknowledge Angel, let alone build a bond. And now, with Angel living openly and courageously, Eddie faces even more pressure to show up as the father he never was. Meanwhile, Mel B has continued to support Angel publicly and privately, calling them brave, strong, and full of light. She has never wavered in standing by her child. Even through all the drama and heartbreak, Mel has spoken openly about the damage that was done and how hard it was to explain to Angel why their father was never around. Despite the late attempts at reconciliation, things between Eddie and Angel have never truly healed. And some insiders believe they never will. Eddie may have hoped that time would fix everything, but time without action is just silence. And that silence has shaped Angel's entire upbringing. This story goes beyond fame and fortune. It exposes what happens when public image matters more than private responsibility. Eddie Murphy built a career making people laugh, but in the eyes of many, he failed when it mattered most, being there for his child and showing unconditional love. Now that Angel is 18, the story is no longer just about Eddie. It's about a young adult who had to grow up without the support of the man who helped bring them into this world. And no matter how much money Eddie pays, no amount can replace the years he missed or the damage that was done. As fans continue to react, one thing is clear. This is a story that still hits a nerve. It challenges the idea of what fatherhood really means and forces people to ask, can someone be a legend on screen while falling so short off of it?